Howdy folks, Dave from Revocation here at Guitar World. Today is going to be part 2 of our tutorial on Theater of Horror. Last lesson we went through and worked about halfway through the song, so now we're going to take it from the bridge section. So let's give it a shot. This part of the song is the bridge section that then goes into the solo section, and it's mainly centered around A minor, and then it goes down to E minor. The first part, so here I'm going to basically like a F major triad, first inversion, back down to A minor, and then to A diminished. So really sort of highlighting like a Hungarian minor sound. So I'm just going up with scale tones. And then another diminished chord here. And back to the A. And then there, I go to a B major triad, taking it out of the key. This is a first inversion, so the third, fifth, and root of B major. And then that B major, you could kind of think about it as a 5 chord of E. And that takes me to my E section. And it's the same thing. E minor with some scale tones. C major, first inversion, E minor, E diminished, back to minor. And then another diminished chord there. Like the first time, it goes to another major chord, but this time it's F sharp major triad in the first inversion. So third, fifth, root. Looking at the picking technique a little bit closer, I'm doing mainly all downstrokes with this. And a lot of palm muting as well. So sometimes I choke the notes, and sometimes I let them ring out to add a different texture and to highlight different sections of the riff. So whenever I go to like a new chord or a new superimposed triad, I open it up a bit and then choke it out, and it just rhythmically punctuates it in different ways and just adds a little bit of a different dynamic to the riff. This is another solo section riff, and I like to play with the tritone sound that's common in metal, so you've probably heard that type of sound before. It's really, really popular. But what I do here is I throw a major triad there. So instead of just a power chord, you're getting a major sound, which is sort of a happier sound. And instead of going to the low root there, I'm playing an inversion of E major. So the bass motion on the guitar is not, it's, which breaks it up in kind of a cool way. So B flat major triad, first inversion, and then E major triad, sorry, B flat major triad root position, and then E major triad, first inversion. So there's still that underlying, tritone motion happening, but on the guitar, I'm mixing up the inversions to add a little bit of contrast. Here's the rhythm of the part played slow. So again, just 2 downstrokes, and I'm letting that chord ring out. And then I do a little bit of a, like, kind of riff out the triad a bit. So I'm going down the triad to go to the next inversion of the next chord. This song is pretty busy rhythmically, so I wanted this part to be much more sparse to let the solo really shine through. So the final riff of the song is a theme and development that goes back to the very first riff. So here it is, just so you can familiarize yourself with how the part goes. So that's the general overall gist of it, and here's how the final riff goes. So like the first riff of this song, the downbeat is still being accentuated on the 4, which makes the downbeat of 1 very, very ambiguous and can kind of confuse the listener and mask the actual rhythm of the song, which is kind of cool to play around with people's expectations of where they expect to hear that, that rhythmic pulse of 1 happening. Unlike the first riff, it's all sort of focused around the note G. Now I'm moving other notes from that scale in there. So it goes to G, to A flat, to F, and then back to A flat again. So as I'm going back and forth between these different bass notes, sometimes I let a power chord ring out, sometimes I accentuate them more with a picking pattern. Like that. And then for the very final time, I just let all the notes ring out very open. And then the final lick there, just F, A flat, F, back to G, just to finish off that riff.